Hey gang, AV here, and welcome to my CGC Collection Revisited Part 7. Today we're going to be having a look at my Spider-Man books. And right here we have the Platinum Edition of Spider-Man number 1, graded 9.0. Some history about this book. If you'll remember, Spider-Man number 1 had several different types of covers when it was initially released. You had a regular cover with gray webs. You had a green background. There was a whole black there was one with an all black background with silver webs. You know, there was the gold webs, which was the second printing. There were bagged copies, unbagged copies. It drove completists like me absolutely mad. I mean, it was ridiculous. But it was a marketing ploy that paid off because they ended up selling well over 1 million copies of that particular issue. And as a thank you to retailers, Marvel Comics shipped out 1 platinum copy of Spider-Man number 1 to each of the comic stores that helped make that possible. This is one of those comics. And another interesting thing about this comic is the fact that when Marvel sent this out, it was just bagged and sent loose in the mail. So high-grade copies of this comic are extremely hard to come by because, you know, they get beat up in the mail system. So having a 9.0 for this particular book, I'm actually very happy about. And to answer the question that I'm sure some of you are wondering, no, I still don't have all of the copies of Spider-Man number 1. I'm still missing the second printing with the barcode, the gold webbing with the barcode. I'm still missing that book. But I will track it down eventually. I've got all the other ones. I will have that one too. But anyway, moving right along. Oh, of course, this is Todd McFarlane. He wrote and drew this, which is what made it so popular. He pretty much reinvented Spider-Man in the late 90s, or late 80s, early 90s. Okay. Here we have Ultimate Spider-Man number 1, first print, graded 9.4, qualified grade, which is why I have the green label. And the reason why it's qualified is because it was signed and sketched by Art Thibert, the inker for this issue. See the Spider-Man head sketch right there, signature. Certificate of authenticity. Good stuff. Numbered 4 of 500, which is pretty cool. And another interesting thing about this particular book is this is the very first Ultimate title. So the entire Ultimate Universe started with this one comic. And I've explained this in other videos in the comment section for some of my videos, but I'll go ahead and explain it again. The reason why this is qualified was because it was signed and sketched before I had sent it in for grading. And since CGC does not post-authenticate signatures or sketches or anything like that, they give it a qualified grade, which is signified by the green label, to indicate that the comic book has been written upon, but in their opinion, it does not decrease the comic's value. They are just merely pointing out that it has been written on. It has a special circumstance to it, if you will. Which is why, as I've also said before, if you do have something that you have already had signed or sketched on and would like to have it graded, keep your certificate in a safe place before you send your book in. And then put it back with the book after you get the book back. Alright, moving right along. Next up we have The Amazing Spider-Man, Volume 2, number 36. This is the World Trade Center 9/11 issue. Graded 9.8 and also signed by JMS, J. Michael Straczynski, and Scott Hanna. Alright. Next up we've got The Amazing Spider-Man 529. Signed and graded 9.8. Signed by JMS and Ron Garney. This was, of course, the first appearance of the Iron Spider-Man suit, which Spider-Man wore during the first half of the Civil War, and was later worn by the Scarlet Spiders. And last but not least, The Amazing Spider-Man 539. So, graded 9.8. This was the Back in Black issue. And as I said with the Savage Tales books in a previous video, this is one of those ones that I bought just because I like the cover. I mean, that's just a badass cover. Don't get me wrong, I mean, I have a copy, and I've read it. It's with my entire Amazing Spider-Man run. But the reason why I bought a graded copy was because I like the cover. And this is one of those few books that I actually did not send in for grading, or submit for grading, I should say, myself. I actually bought this pre-graded. Got a good deal on it too. I think it was only like 20 bucks. That's beautiful. Alright, let's do a quick pan here. Amazing Spider-Man 539. Platinum Spider-Man number 1. Ultimate Spider-Man number 1. Amazing Spider-Man Volume 2 number 36. And Amazing Spider-Man 529. Alright, keep your eyes peeled for the next installment, the final installment. Well, I shouldn't say final. The final one for a while, we should say, which will include all new books. Books that you have not seen yet, so it will not be a revisited. It'll just be a part 8. And if you like this video, then check out my channel. If you like what you see there, then please subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.